Well, everyone, I'm on the White Cloud Trail and I got a new ATV. There's a story behind this one. So I still have my Polaris Sportsman, my 2018 570 EPS, which is for the electric power steering, the EPS part. And it has right around 5,000 miles. I took that ATV to Ohio and everything went fine. It was all good. And it's been very reliable since I had it repaired last year with the fuel pump. I've been really happy with it. But it does have 5,000 miles, okay? And I like to go riding by myself. And you just never know, like even a short distance away from home, like White Cloud, I live in Big Rapids. If I were to break down, I may be walking for a long way. So I decided to get a new quad. Well, there's a story behind that too, and I'll tell you about that. So about April, sometime in April, I was, it's starting to get into quad season. And I started looking around and I priced out some quads. Now I did say that I was going to look heavily at Spicer Boat City because of the repair experience I had with them, the customer service that I had with them last year with my Polaris. And there's a video about that out there. I didn't buy my Polaris from Spicer Boat City. I bought it from Lakeside Motorsports in McCosta. And to get service at Lakeside Motorsports for the ATV side of the house, the motorsports side of the house, is a grueling process. Or at least it used to be. Maybe it's changed. I haven't tried. I've been I've just been so disappointed with their services, I just stopped trying. But they would say things like, well, we can't get you into service for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, but we need your vehicle here, just in case we can fit it in. So, that kind of thing, especially if you have a repair that doesn't allow it to work like I did last year. It's down and it's non-functional. You can't even use it. There goes a whole month of riding. Well, Spicer's Boat City fit me in within a week and repaired it, did it under warranty, which was a bonus. I wasn't even expecting that. And it cost me $50 plus tax, sales tax. I was just really pleased with that experience, so I wanted to give them a chance at my business. So I did reach out to them to do a build on a Polaris, a brand new Polaris, and a brand new Can-Am. I was looking at the 850 XTP, and that was coming in right around 15,000, somewhere between that's 15.2, 15.3. And I asked if, is there anything you could do with the price? And at Spicer now, this is at Spicer. And he said that's the lowest price we can go is, because maybe it was 15.8, I don't know. I did do a double check on that at Peacock, Fox Motors Peacock, and they came in for $600 less. So I was a little disappointed with that. Also, we did ride with a YouTube fan on that Kalkaska video that focuses on the North Loop and the hills area. And he was sharing his experience with me. I just have to check behind me because I know somebody else is going to be riding here pretty soon. I don't want to hold him up. I like to go slow. But he was shopping around and he was letting me know that Spicer's and Lakeside and a couple of the other closer to Big Rapids, Reed City, Everett areas were higher, and so he ended up going over on the other side of the state, on the east side of the state of Michigan. And that's where he got his best deal. But he also pointed me to a dealership in Ohio that was very competitive. But that dealership was only for Polaris, and I really wanted to take a good look at Can-Am. I've been interested in pursuing Can-Am. I'm going to switch it to high. I have it in low just to kind of condition the belt, warm the belt up. And I checked with there was this Can-Am 650 XT. It's a 2022. It had 67 miles on it, and it was sitting at Lakeside Motorsports. So back in April, I asked them for the price, and I believe they said it was $10,600. I offered them, I believe, $9,900 or $9,999 or something like that, just below $10,000. A psychological thing for my wife to keep it below $10,000. And they wouldn't go. I was asking for that to be the price out the door, and they said nope, it's $10,600 out the door. And so I said okay, I just passed. I just let it go. I talked to my wife Jennifer about it, and she said, well, is your other one working? Yeah, maybe we should just hold off. It's like, okay, that's fine, we'll do that. So we did that. Fast forward to June, and we have our anniversary in June. It was June 19th, and we went down to Branson, had a blast at Branson, and I plan her birthday, which is in March. Some sort of a trip or celebration, and then I also plan the anniversary, which is in June, and then she plans Valentine's and my birthday, and that makes it kind of neat. It's always a surprise. We always try to keep it as a surprise for each other, and so I have to say that Branson was the most difficult trip that I've ever planned logistically, with all the shows going on, and the tickets, and the venues, the travel, the hotels. That's probably a whole nother video that you might be interested in. I don't know. My wife says I should start some sort of a YouTube help men or help whoever if they want to plan things to plan, because she's very complimentary. She's like, you just put a lot of thought and attention to detail into things. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe. So where was I going with this? Oh yes, okay, so that's our anniversary trip. So we're at Branson, and she's giving me a card every day we're there, mostly. Like, we started on Saturday, she gave me my first card. Our anniversary's on a Wednesday. On the Wednesday we're down there. She gave me a card on, I believe it was Sunday or Monday, and then she gave me another. It was 4 cards. So it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and Wednesday is the anniversary. And each day it was something very thoughtful that she said in there. Ooh, this might have been a bad move. Something very thoughtful she would say every day, which was really nice to read. And then on Wednesday, it was something also very nice and thoughtful about our 20 years together. We've been married 20 years. And then she says in the card, she wrote in the card, all right, it's your choice. Do you want a new Novacraft canoe that you've been talking about? Which I've been looking at the Novacraft Prospector 14 in Tough Coat or Blue Steel. I'm not sure which one. I have to take a look at those a little closer, but so far it's been Tough Coat, just because Blue Steel is a lot more expensive too. So, or do you want a new quad? Well, the canoe is going to cost somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000. Yes, that's a lot of money. I get it, but it's super light at like 42 pounds, and just as I get older, it just makes it easier for me when I'm solo canoeing, solo paddling to carry it, especially if I'm in a portage or whatever. So I'm thinking about that sort of thing as I get older. And the lighter you get something, the more money it is. But you also want it to be tough. You want it to be sort of indestructible when you hit stones and things. Well, you know, that's $3,000 to $4,000, and the quad's potentially as high as $15,000 to $16,000. Well, that's quite a nice little anniversary gift. That was an anniversary and birthday gift. So I said to her, well, let me think. Yep, okay, I want the quad. She's like, I thought you would. So I called then, just for the heck of it. I didn't know if this quad was still available at Lakeside Motorsports. And believe me, with the service issues and all that, I did think about Lakeside Motorsports. Do I really want to buy for them? But in the end, if I can purchase something for a lower value or a lower dollar amount and still get good service, whether it's there or somewhere else, then I'm gonna go for the service or the purchase. So I called Lakeside Motorsports back and asked them, did they still have this quad here? And they said yes. And I said, what's the price? And I was shocked to hear that it was $8,300. Well, I guess they've been having a heck of a time getting rid of it. It's a 650 twin, so they did stop producing the 650. But if you look at videos out on YouTube and you look at reviews, there's lots of good things people are saying about the 650. They just love it. It's just the perfect size. So I thought, well, I guess if it's there when I get back. Remember, it's Wednesday and I'm down in Missouri. We're down in Missouri. And we're coming back on Saturday, and so I won't be able to check on it until Sunday when they're open. Well, I went there on Sunday, I looked at it, I took it for a test drive, and I wheeled and dealed a little bit more. I asked them to throw on an oil change on a filter and make sure it's greased up, because it did have 67 miles, and I don't know how hard they might have rode it for those first 60 or 70 miles. It's really breaking in, but I wanted to make sure it started with fresh oil while I finished the break-in period here. So I could have had a brand new quad, 2014. I'm sorry, could have had a 2024 850 XTP. For $15,000 to $16,000, or I could buy this for, it ended up being, the $8,300 wasn't out the door, it was $9,000 out the door, $9,000 a little bit of change, like $9,014. Well, I went for this at the much lower price. My 570's always had plenty of speed. I've always been able to climb sand hills and things. I've always been impressed with Kyle's twin motor and his bigger wheel wells on his Polaris. And I said I always wanted to make sure I got a twin the next time around. This one fits that checks that box, and it has the really big wheel wells and checks that box. It already had the winch. It had the skid plates. It had the 2-inch hitch, which I think that's standard on everything, so it's not like it wouldn't have been there, but pretty much had everything I wanted, except it did not have any storage boxes like what you're seeing on the front here, these two stacked storage boxes. And it didn't have the rack extenders that you're seeing on the front and the back. And so I bought that stuff, added it. They use what they call the Link, L-I-N-Q system. And let me tell you, if you want to try your patience, start dealing with the Link system, because it's terrible as far as information and how it all works, and the accessories and what you need to make things work, like these little boxes, what you need to make them work. It's terrible. So after a little bit of trial and error, I purchased the rack extenders and the boxes and the associated hardware and put it all together, and then I put the front rack extender on, and lo and behold, the box hardware, it wouldn't fit with the rack extender on there. Good job, Can-Am. What were you thinking? I mean, it's a small enough box that you should have thought about that. Offset the holes, do something different, I don't know. So that's why you're seeing a white board right there. You're seeing that white board? It's a PVC board, and I constructed that. I'm going to do a little bit different one. I want to make it a little bit more solid, but it seems to do the job. And it uses a link system, so I can disconnect it and remove it very quickly if I want to. But it's definitely not something that you can buy, you have to make it. But I can show more detail about that and all the other accessories. I'm definitely going to do some sort of a video on the link system to help other people out that are in the same boat that I am. Well, or we're in the same boat anyway. So it's quite heavily grown in here. So that's the story of the Can-Am. I kept the Polaris 570 for an extra rider. And my daughter Heather likes to ride. I don't know about Amanda, she probably would. And maybe my wife will go out, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm also going to try to get Jim on my quad, because I've always been interested in what Jim's experience might be on a quad versus a side-by-side. I think because he's always talked about doing a dirt bike, but he already has a little bit of a challenge when it comes to the side-by-side. This is a little tight quarters in here. Probably should have took that hill there. But he's when he rides a side by side for any length of time, he gets pretty beat up as far as fatigue and that sort of thing. So I figured with a dirt bike it'd be even worse. Maybe a quad's a nice little compromise, and maybe he'd really like that. So I thought maybe we could do that. We'll see what he does. Maybe one of these days I'll load up both quads and go meet him somewhere for a nice afternoon ride somewhere. All right, we're at 2.2 miles. I did this trail last year and I ran out of sunlight. Came back in the dark. I also cracked up my front cover on my Polaris and I had to get that replaced because the hinge broke. I was having a hard time keeping it all together as I rode back. I have paracord now. Alright, this is West 3 Mile Road. Okay. No traffic. I'm surprised they haven't extended this trail system for quads yet. Maybe they'll do it someday. Anybody know what causes this these hill things? I think it's people spinning their tires, but I'm not. That would seem logical to me. Whew, 110.5 miles, huh? I did take and ride with some family members to West Higgins Lake. We did the whole loop. That was about 30 miles. How muddy is this, eh? How deep is it? Break that if we don't put it down, I guess, eh? Wow. comparison of this ride versus the Polaris. It's a tough one. This one runs smoother, the engine. I think it uses more fuel for the same engine run time. Though I've only gone out once, but I did, my daughter had the 570 out on West Higgins, and that one consumed a lot less fuel. Like, well, I say a lot less. At least according to the gas gauge, but the true tells when you fill it. But which one rides better? Or which one's more comfortable? You know, I feel like, at least at this point right now, the Polaris, I'm more comfortable with. I feel like it's more part of me when I ride. Maybe it's just I gotta take more time to get used to this. This feels like, it feels bigger. It feels more like a tank. And the 2018 Sportsman, I don't know, it just feels more nimble. Or maybe it's just getting used to it. Hey, there's a deer right there. And where there's one, there's more probably. Right behind that tree. Probably gone now. Gotta be careful with the other one. There it is, right there. Right there it is. Get a nice close up here. See it? It's gonna go now. That's a nice close up. If there's a fawn back here. Well, we'll get going so they can reunite if there is. The only reason why that other deer's hanging around is waiting for the smaller one to come through, so better get going. We were on, we did the Ohio trip. I had the Sportsman. And I came up over a little bit of a hill. And there, right in the middle of the road, was a fawn laying right on the... It was so tired from running, trying to keep up with his mom. It just laid down in the middle of the trail, so I just stopped for a while and let it rest. And then as soon as I started going a little bit, it got up and it ran down the trail and off into the woods. Hopefully it got with its mom again. Animals have a hard enough life without us making it harder. Well, let's see. We're at 4.4 miles. I believe it's right around 10 miles. That's where the loop starts. So we'll go to the, well, there's also a little creek and a bench seat we'll take a break at. Well, I have two overlands that I've laid out. One would be to the Udell Fire Tower. I believe it's the only, it's a non-working fire tower, but it's the only fire tower I think left in the Lower Peninsula. And that's over by Manistee. I plan on going from my house to there, maybe a couple of other stops, scenic stops, and then maybe staying overnight at Coyote Crossings. I would took my dog box in the back of this, take Pixie with me. She'd have some fun. Being it's not tight trails like this. Pretty nice for her. That might be a second night somewhere else, maybe a 2-nighter, 3-day. At least one night, 2 days of riding. probably 160 to 200 miles. And the second one would be going from St. Ignace to Drummond Island. Parking the vehicle at the ORV parking lot in St. Ignace. And then possibly staying overnight in Cedarville. I think it's Cedarville. And then going over on the ferry. The trick there is you gotta have somebody trailer me from where the ferry. Never understood that part there. Snowmobilers don't have to worry about it. They can they have trails because there's some sort of a quarry operation there, and it's not operational during the winter time, so I don't think it is anyway. So snowmobilers can use that road, and then some other back roads and some private land that's leased or but because quads is during the summertime, they don't allow the use of the road for quads, so you have to figure out you can't ride down that road. It's a Michigan road, so you can't ride down it. So I gotta find somebody to trailer. Stay overnight, at least one night, maybe two. Ride a little bit on Drummond Island. Like at least a full day, if not partial another day. Then ride all the way back. Just don't feel like going fast, guys. I can take that faster and it'd be fine. But I just don't feel like doing it. Not with this new thing. I gotta get used to it. Thought I heard somebody. Swore I heard somebody. Well, okay. Which one do you do? Oh boy. Well, I don't know, man. It looked like either one will work. Disaster written all over it, guys. Hey, it's working. I'll be darned. Didn't expect that. Thing that I thought I heard, it's a sound coming from my quad. It's something like a burping sound. I think it might be brake related or something. So when everything's just right, there's weight on the brake or something else, I don't know, it makes this sound that sounds like somebody's voice. Thank you. Thanks a lot, appreciate it. It's dead quiet out here. I can't hear anything. Oh, I see what's speaking. It's the iPad speaking. Start of the loop. Last time we went left, this time we'll do it counterclockwise. Somebody had a bad day over here. The left parts. I think that's where I broke my I think that's where I broke my hinge last year on the Polaris, right there. I stopped too close to that tree. Bad news bears. I was going the other way though. Did not see that. What do we got here? Don't do that again. Alright, I gotta check for ticks. I got brakes. How bad is this? It landed on the belly. that little episode back there where I drove off the edge, I sometimes wander. You know, I look around and I'm not paying attention to where I'm driving, and then bad things happen. I gotta stop doing that. And in this case, I was probably looking around at the lake or the marsh or whatever, and I wonder if that. I'm anxious to look at the video to see how much that was hidden, because I think it was pretty well camouflaged. Lucky that tree was right where it was, nice and close by, easy to hook it onto. I got to get my tree saver. Well, I guess I do have a tree saver. I just don't have my. That would have worked for that. Doggone it, I should have did that. I had it in the back, but I don't have my snatch block. That's where my head was at there. So on the way back, after we get this loop closed, we're going to go out on the first main dirt road and then work our way back and then come back into the trail at the last moment to get back to the OR, to get back to the parking lot. Partly because it's it's going to get dark. I've already done the trail 3 times, once in, once out, and then once back into the loop again. And I think that's enough. I added a mirror back on my left side. Can-Am had a little threaded piece right off the brake reservoir. I think I see the disadvantage of locking differentials on this thing versus the Polaris, because I wasn't able to move it at all. The tire just spun, so it didn't move. And on the Polaris, that wouldn't have happened. I don't think it would have anyway. That was interesting. I think maybe that Polaris would have gotten on there because, well, let's see, the back left tire was off the ground. And the other one, yeah, both back tires were off the ground, so the only thing that it could rely on was the front tire. And it doesn't have that locking differential in the front. It might have it in the back, not in the front. It's on the left, so I go right. That closes the loop, guys. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find some roads, and we're going to go out on dirt roads. Alright, what do we got here? How can we get back to there? Porcupine. Hey, little buddy. Okay, see you later, then. It's okay, buddy. You can go. I won't hurt you. Lake? Loda Lake. Loda Lake. Well, I'll be darned. That's where I am. Let's get that centered back up. Well, alright. Freaking road right there. Sneak over that. Get over people on that. Alright. Okay, so that's left. A little bit of a can of worms with all these different roads. I ran into some private property and some lowlands with some marshy areas. And, there was that one road in that turnaround there. I could have tried that, but I was just afraid that I was going to run up against some private land or in some water. And it was starting to get too dark to deal with that. So I ended up taking a trail back out. I tried another 2-track, didn't work. Ended up getting against some private land again, so I had to turn around and go out on the pavement, which did end up going to M-20. Not supposed to ride at M-20, but I stayed well righted on the shoulder, well away from any traffic. It was low traffic, and I think maybe it was a mile on M-20 to get into the trailhead again. It just wasn't realistic for me to get back into the trail system. So I didn't really feel I had a choice there. So, well, with that, I want to thank you for stopping by the channel and watching this video. And until next week, take care.